welcome back to my channel and episode 5 of Raw Moments. This video is 2 weeks late now, and it is late because the past 2 weeks I have been going through it mentally, and that interfered with me filming and posting. And initially the whole point of this series was for me to get comfortable enough to film even when I'm having days like that and just post that. But it was more a lot of me just in my head and questioning myself if I'm really walking in my purpose the way that I'm supposed to be. Am I missing something? Just like not feeling good enough and doubting myself. And I knew that this was coming. I guess didn't really pay much attention to it. Let me just take you back so this makes sense. Maybe like 3 weeks ago, I started to see things, and I get a lot of my God told me to tell you moments from TikTok, and then sometimes on like Instagram, or if I'm watching like sermons on YouTube, but a lot of them come from TikTok because that's what I'm on a lot. But I was seeing a lot of videos that were basically telling me that I am at the door of fulfillment of everything that I've been like working hard for and towards, and my breakthrough is like I'm right at the door. I'm walking through, and because I'm that close to it, I was going to have a lot of like spiritual attacks happening on me mentally, and that it was because obviously the enemy doesn't want you to walk in your purpose, doesn't want you to walk with God, doesn't want you to, do good with yourself. And the things are meant to distract you and throw you off your path and take you a million steps backward. And I definitely experienced that in this past 2 weeks, and I got a warning before it happened. I guess I just didn't pay that much attention. I don't know, but the past 2 weeks definitely have been a lot and made me go back into a space of where I was 4 years ago when I first acknowledged that I was depressed. And that was really scary for me because we all know I don't like that time in my life. It was such a dark space, and I would never want to or voluntarily go back to that place. And I definitely was there mentally these past 2 weeks, and I'm not going to go as far to say as that I was suicidal, but everything else that I experienced and I was feeling at that time, I have been feeling the past 2 weeks. And my appetite has been weird, not being able to sleep, just like feeling very doubtful and getting back to that place of just like, I don't want to do this, I'm tired, and I'm ready for this to be over, like I just need it to stop, and being not motivated to walk in my purpose and do what I'm supposed to do, with posting and filming and sharing for my YouTube and for my TikTok. I wasn't doing it, and a little on my TikTok, but not as much as I should have been, and definitely not the type of quality that I should have been doing it in, and then just nothing from YouTube. And it is a pattern that I know that happens when I get into that type of headspace. I kind of just like shut down and I don't want to do anything. And as it was happening in the beginning, maybe like the first week and a half, I was just like in it and not really thinking about the fact that I just wasn't feeling okay in a analyzing type of way. It was just, I don't feel like it, I'm not motivated, I don't want to do anything, and so I was kind of just sitting in it. And the rest of the 2 weeks I started to like analyze and be like, why am I here? I don't understand, like, why am I back to this moment? And I started to think about that, and then I started seeing things that were telling me that you have to feel this. This is God's, I want to say, last test, or last, like, I need to make sure that you're ready to really like fulfill your purpose and walk in your purpose and do the thing that I placed you on this earth to do. And in that was kind of like, will you lean on me, or will you go back to the place of questioning and not trusting and being so confused that you're falling back into old habits? And I really kind of like had to check myself and be like, okay, you don't want to be here, you don't want to feel this, you hate this feeling, you don't like this feeling, this is the worst feeling imaginable to you. I get it, I understand. Yes, it is, it's not fun, but you have to feel this because God needs to know and trust that you are ready, because you're not worrying about the why, and that you're leaning on him in this moment, and you trust that he's gonna, pull you through and walk you through it, and that you're not gonna keep doing this like tug of war back and forth. And so I kind of was just like, okay, let me just pick up the camera and film. And a few days ago was probably one of the worst days that I had during that 2 week span, where I just woke up and I was done. I was just like, I'm tired. I wanted to cry every 2 seconds, and I picked up the camera to film, and I was going to post that because it was a very in time, real moment. But I was outside and the like background noise was so loud, so you could like kind of hear me, but it was also distracting. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna refilm it and just talk about, how I was feeling and what I was going through, and I'm just gonna refilm it. And I made up every excuse of why I hadn't done it yet. And so I was like, here you are again, like, you have to push through this unmotivationless spirit. Like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. And I am actually glad that I didn't, just because I feel like, in a weird kind of way, even though it's not okay that I didn't post when I was supposed to post for 2 weeks now, that this video just makes so much more sense because I have the other piece of the story. Whereas if I would have posted it before, it kind of would not have made sense if you hadn't watched the previous video, and then if I sat down to film it now, it kind of would feel like it didn't make sense if you hadn't been consistently watching. So I'm, in a weird way, glad that it kind of happened that way. because the other part of it, I was watching Sunday service yesterday, and it, sometimes I just have these moments where I'm like watching things and it's like, oh, okay, like that was, a good aha moment, or that makes sense, or I could see how that kind of relates to me, or. But yesterday when I was watching it, I watched the whole service, and for the better half of it, I was just like, okay, like, cool. Didn't really want to watch it because I was like, this is going so slow, like, get to the point. And I was kind of like paying attention but not paying attention and like doing other things. And then it got to the end, and the pastor said, the pain that you are feeling is not for you. The things that you are going through is not for you. When Jesus died on the cross, the pain that he was feeling, the agony that he was feeling, was not for him. It was because he needed to go through that so he could save the rest of the world. And when he said that, I kind of looked up because I was like, that was interesting. That was strong. That kind of, hit me a little bit. And then he went on to say, you've already been told that the pain that you're feeling, God is going to use it to help someone else. And that the pain that you are feeling, and you are telling God, I don't want to feel this anymore. I'm tired of feeling this. I don't want to go through this. Please just make it stop. Please make it go away. Please, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not strong enough for this. I'm questioning, can I do this? All of these feelings and emotions that you're having, and it's not for you. God is using your pain to help someone else. And if you don't go through this pain, the person that you are supposed to help can't get saved. You will not be able to save that person's life if you don't feel the pain that you're feeling right now. And immediately I just like bawled my eyes out. I was crying because I was just like, I needed to hear that. I needed the reassurance, because I go through this thing. I know that the purpose that I have and the way that I envision it, and like, I really do hope that I save people's lives with sharing my story. And at the same time, that's such a big thing to hold. That's such a big thing to carry. And I question myself, am I good enough for that? Am I strong enough for that? Am I capable of this? And it was like God telling me, I don't give you anything which you can't handle. And I chose you to go through this pain. And I chose you to feel this pain in the depths of the way that you're feeling it. Because in order for you to help the person down the line that I need for you to help, that you are going to touch, you can't help them if you don't feel this immense type of pain. It's not going to work if you don't know this type of pain. And so him saying that was just like, wow. Like, if ever there were a sign of all the things that I've heard and like watched and, been told, that was so simple and clear to me that it made me go, okay, it's time for you to buckle up and get it together. Then it made me go back to all the things that he was previously saying that I was like not really paying attention to, but paying attention to. And he ended the service with that, but he started it with, God gave you the power to speak. I'm trying to remember the word that he said. I can't remember, but God gave you the power to speak good over your life, basically. And all of the doubt and the fear and the, can I? God gave you the power to speak that away. And so when you have that type of power, it's a type of power that you need to be careful what you say. You need to be careful what you ask for, because those things will happen. And I had talked about this before, I think in a couple of videos back, where it was like, I have to be careful with what I say, because I say things and then it happens, or I think something and it happens. And so for him to say that, God gave you this power and you have that power, it made me think about, I've said this, I've said that, I've felt that, I've said that this is happening to me right now. And so for him to say that same power is the power that's going to bring you out. That's the power that's going to change your circumstances. That's the power that's going to change your life. That's the power that is going to get you to walk through the door. And so for me, it was like a full circle moment, because I've been getting like bits and pieces of things, and it was kind of like all the things I have been hearing maybe in the past 2.5 months, came together in this one sermon that made me be like, okay, I have the power. He's been telling me I have the power. And the missing link that I keep feeling like there's something, I don't know what it is, like I'm questioning, can I do this? It's because the enemy knows how to play on my weaknesses, and he knows that if anything, I will attack myself. I will attack myself with my words. I will be so negative to myself, and that's what the enemy needs me to speak. He needs me to speak the negativity. He needs me to speak the doubt. He needs me to speak the, you can't do this, you're not good enough. You don't have the motivation to do this. Don't do it. Take a break. Stop. He needs me to speak these things, because me speaking those things with the power that God has given me to change my circumstances, he needs me to keep me in the current circumstances that I'm in. And that the missing link is me not understanding that I'm waiting for something to happen, or for something to change. But the thing that I'm waiting for is me. I am the thing that I'm waiting for. God has already given me the power to do it. And so, the pastor said, well, this week I need you to learn to speak positivity into your life. Don't go into the week negatively. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, I can't stand this. Oh my gosh, I don't feel like it. Oh my gosh, I'm this. It needs to be something positive, something encouraging to yourself. And that is the biggest problem, the biggest thing that I have such a hard time with, is speaking positivity to myself, because I'm such a positive person when it comes to other people, and I will give people praises and, lift people up, but I don't do it for myself. And that's the thing that's missing. That's the reason why I'm just right there at the door and I haven't walked through yet, because I haven't spoken the things on my own life. And so hearing that made me feel and gave me the motivation that I needed to every day wake up and make a change about something. One thing, make a change about it. You want to have a routine? Tell yourself, I'm going to stick to my routine. You want to work out? Tell yourself, every day I'm going to work out. You want to eat healthy? Tell yourself, every day I'm going to be healthy. Do the things that you want to do, but speak it into existence like it already happened, like it's already here. And I thought that hearing that was like, okay, God's talking to me. I'm gonna, do it. I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna figure it out. And then this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. And then I was watching another sermon on YouTube, and she said, God, you are used to playing catch and release. And what you need to be playing is catch and keep. So you keep catching the word, but you're releasing it. When things get hard, or you get confused, or you lose focus, or you lose motivation, you release it. Even though it's not that you want to, but all of these things you're clouded by makes you release it. But you need to play catch and keep. God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. And so he's given you this big thing that you feel like is so much. I can't do that. That's so huge. And you're scared of it. But God is telling you, catch it and keep it, because I am telling you how to use it. I'm telling you how you're supposed to use it. I'm telling you how to walk with it. I'm telling you how you're going to change your circumstances. And I'm using you to fulfill something else that has nothing to do with you. And it was just like, I keep getting hit with all of these things that are just like, he's speaking directly to me. And the only thing that's holding me back is myself. Like, I am my biggest critic. Like, I should be my biggest cheerleader, but I am my biggest critic. And that is because of the way that I speak things onto myself. And God has brought me through all the way up until this point, and now he has given me the power to speak the things on myself. And when I begin to take that stance and speak them on myself, I will start to see the things change. And I am making a vow to myself to tell myself, as hard as it may be, as difficult as it may be, you need to start speaking positivity on yourself. You need to walk into the room like God sent you there himself. You need to stand in the thing that you are as if you are already that thing. Whatever it is that you're striving for, whatever it is that you're working towards, you need to treat it as if it has already happened, because the moment you have that mindset, it's happening. And I've gotten glimpses of it, but I haven't been consistent with it, so I can't really see it as full as I should be. And she also said that God showed you something, but he only showed you a glimpse of what it is that you think you're walking into. The plans that he has are way bigger than you even can imagine. And that glimpse that he showed you is nothing compared to what you're actually walking into. And that probably scares you. But you don't need to be scared, because God is walking you through it. And when she said that, I was like, geez, I mean, the glimpse that he showed me was already like bigger than what I could have possibly imagined. And now to hear that it's something that's even bigger than that, 100% that scares me, because it's like, goodness, that's so much. That is so big. That is so like heavy. that's a lot of pressure. But at the same time, I feel honored that I have such a big task and that God trusts me with such a big task, and I take it very seriously. I don't take it lightly at all. And I think I need to start acting like I don't take it lightly, and that as serious as I take it, I need to start acting that way. And so I, told myself, like, today, moving forward, everything needs to change, but you need to start with the way that you speak things onto yourself. And you need to, when you're having doubt or you're not motivated, you need to tell yourself, I am motivated and I'm going to do this. I am not doubtful because I know that I'm capable of this thing that I'm doing. And start claiming things as if they are. And things will start just happening. And even just now, earlier I was like, I'm so confused about like my direction of things and how I want to use my platform. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what direction to go. I don't know what lane I'm supposed to be in. Like, I know that I'm just sharing my experience or, what I've been through, but what is that thing? And I've been feeling like that, a lot the past like month, just like not really knowing and, trying and, feeling like I'm doing what I know to do or what I can do. But do I not have a real clear direction? And just a little while ago, before I sat down to film this video, something that I never even thought of before, but something that was so simple to call it, to the direction, and it was like, you know what? That popped into your head now, or that was the thought that you had because you just told yourself you're going to be serious in what you're doing. You're going to walk in your purpose more now than you ever have. And it was like, you know what? You are a mental health influencer. That is what you are. And that is something that's so simple. That's so like, duh, why didn't I think of that? But it's because I allow my self-doubt and my fear cloud the bigger picture. And that's what has me pacing back and forth and being so confused, which I learned yesterday that is what the enemy does. And that's why it's not of God, because God is centered. And so when you're centered, everything just comes to you. But when you start pacing back and forth, that's not of God, and that's why you're so confused. And I've been in a state of confusion because I'm walking back and forth, being confused about what direction I'm supposed to go. This direction, no. I'm supposed to go that direction, no. I'm supposed to, and going back and forth and, trying this, oh, that didn't work. Okay, let me try this. Oh, that didn't work. Instead of trying something, sticking to it for a certain period of time, seeing it through, and then, moving on from there, and understanding that in order for things to come to me consistently and in a way that makes sense to me, where I can receive it, I have to be centered. No matter what's happening around me, or, no matter how I'm feeling, I need to stay centered, because that is when things will make the most sense. And that's where the trust comes from, and the fear and the doubt and all the negativity can't be with you if you're centered, because that's swirling around you. That's what's pacing back and forth, and that's not of God. And so as I'm, bringing myself back to my center, I am learning and understanding my direction. And it's so crazy of how quickly something can happen, because just within a matter of an hour, I said to myself, buckle down, you gotta get serious. Pick up the camera, do what you gotta do, moving on, plan it, move on, plan it, move on. Like, do what you gotta do, you gotta get serious. Because this is what's important. All the other stuff, all the other things that you're worried about, that the devil knows how to put on your mind so you worry about it, that's what you need to be worried about. You need to be worried about this thing. And I said it. I told myself, I'm gonna get serious. I'm gonna find direction. I have direction. I know what I'm doing. Within the hour, it was like, now you know what to call yourself. Now you know what direction you're going. And from there, what's the next thing? Claim it. That is what it is, and moving on. And that's how I'm going to walk through that door, and that is how I am going to walk in my purpose the way God intends me to, and trusting that I know what I'm doing because I am following God, and he's never going to steer me wrong. God is never going to steer me wrong. He's always going to put me in the right direction, and when I am drifting off to the side, he is going to redirect me. And I'm very thankful for that, because you have to trust in God 100% before you can start to see things clearly, because when you don't, things are very foggy and things don't make sense, like no sense. And not everything makes sense even when you're following God, because it's not supposed to make sense to you. God knows what he's doing. You're supposed to trust, and that's where the trust comes in. But the more you trust him, the more you lean on him, the clearer things become. And I'm very, very thankful and grateful for that. So, with that being said, I leave you with trusting that God is going to pull you through whatever it is that you're dealing with at this moment, and that if you are confused, if you don't know where you're going, if you're lost in your purpose, if you are, walking in your purpose, but you're feeling unmotivated, or you feel like you're losing control, pray about it and trust that God will redirect you if you need redirection. He will assure you if you need reassurance. He will hold your hand if that's what you need. But to fully trust and lean on him, and everything will become clear in the weirdest ways, because they definitely have become clear to me in the most bizarre ways and unexpected ways. But he will use people to do things that you would not imagine he would. So let it go and let God. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in next week's episode of Our